Hey everyone, welcome in. As you can see, it's not evening time here, but it is kind of a dark and dreary day. And I wanted to share a very brief yin slash restorative, more on the restorative end of things, practice that is appropriate to prepare you for a restful night's sleep. So, of course, you're welcome to do this on your mat. Go ahead and grab pillows or bolsters, blocks if you like. Blankets always nice. However, what's really nice about this brief sequence is that you can also do this sequence actually in bed. So there's nothing that is going to put any pressure on the joints or anything that you need to stand for or balance for. So definitely feel free to take this video with you right into your bed, and perhaps the final Shavasana can be your entryway directly into a hopefully good and restful night's sleep. So go ahead and grab what you need, and we're going to get started. So today I'd like to start down in a child's pose, and I understand this isn't the most comfortable shape in every for everybody. If you're on a bed, certainly the knees will be nice and cushioned, but certainly incorporate your blankets. Or also, you can take a yin forward fold with the feet untucked if you prefer, if there's any hip, knee, ankle stuff going on. Otherwise, I'm going to take this one bridged up. So it's more of a restorative forward fold by taking a block underneath my bolster, or you can stack a few pillows, and I'll have my knees out a little bit wide as we get started. So go ahead and thread your arms underneath your bolster or pillow and rest on down to one ear or the other. I'll let you know when we're about halfway through so you can swap sides. And for those that enjoy having music to accompany your practice, I encourage you to have, if possible, or music without words. If you've got any good like theta rhythm music that can really kind of start to assist and support you in slowing down the mind, and that's beautiful too. Or if you want to take this as a little bit more of a traditional yin approach, as more of a meditation in shapes, then feel free to take this practice in silence. The first pose of any practice, particularly a yin, a quieting practice, can be challenging to drop into quiet and stillness. So allow yourself the freedom and space here to, um, permission for the mind to stretch a little bit too. So as you settle into stillness, you might notice those activations, those vrittis, the little fluctuations. And you can greet those with a lot of compassion. And we're about halfway through this first shape. So for those that would like to, and if you're resting just to one ear, go ahead and flip to the opposite side just to counter anything that might need to feel a little bit more balanced in those muscles that support your neck spine. Anchor into your breath and see if you can offer yourself anything else that might support your body in becoming very, very comfortable. Just under a minute left to go here. And in your next breath or two, without hurry, untangle your arms from underneath your pillows or bolster. Start to walk your weight up. If you are practicing on the mat or on the ground, your knees might feel a little cold, a little stiff. So really move with slowness as you sweep your feet around toward the front. I'm just going to slide my bolster off to the side and out of the way for this next one. Um, but you can use it for support. We'll be heading back toward a reclined Baddha Konasana or a reclined butterfly, we would call it in Yin. And I know it might be tempting for some of you that love the back bend variation to, prop up, but back extensions or heart openers can be really, really energizing. So I would encourage you instead to look for ways that this could be softer. So that might be with blocks or books underneath your knees, or if you like working with pillows or bolster, instead of under your back, you could take the bolster under your knees. However, knees come out wide. And then once you have found the variation you like best, go ahead and rest back onto the earth, onto your bed. Take one hand to your low belly and one hand towards your heart, maybe your energetic heart, like chest center. Notice how much of your back is touching the earth. You might need to make little adjustments. Maybe there's a little bit of a tucking upward of the pubic bone so that more of you can come to rest, more of your body can land at rest on the support that's beneath you. And then notice the wave of your breath as it rides up and down. Slow wave on the length of your torso. You can watch the really subtle shifts that happen beneath your hand that's resting at the heart, beneath your hand that's resting at the lower hara, just below the navel, low belly. Just 1 minute to go. You drop into the second posture of our brief practice. Hopefully, the mind has found some space to settle and soften. And somewhere in the journey of your next 2 or 3 breaths, you can slide your hands off your torso, bring them to your outer thighs to help guide your knees up and together at center. If you do have a pillow or bolsters underneath you, go ahead and slide that out of the way or off to the side. You can use it for support in this next shape too. With your knees bent, go ahead and let both knees rock down toward your right. This could be stacked knees. So placement for bolster or pillow could be between your knees. That can be quite nice so the hips are a little more neutral. You could also take your feet as staggered. That offers a little bit more of an edge, right? So depending on where you want to go with your practice. And then take your arms out either toward a cactus shape or like a wide T. And your gaze can stay upward to the sky or out over your left shoulder or fingertips. And find a smooth and even breath. There might even be space to lengthen out your breath, in particular the exhale. Having an exhale that's slightly longer than the inhale is very supportive for the parasympathetic nervous system that we really rely on that kicking in order to settle down for deep rest. And then go ahead and very slowly draw your navel back. So you have just a little bit of support for your low back. Roll your knees up towards center. You can adjust or shift your hips as needed. And then go ahead and offer your knees down toward the left side. So whichever variation of a spinal twist you liked the best, send that on over to the opposite side. Again, arms might find that cactus shape or wide T shape, your choice. And this time around, perhaps gaze moving over your right shoulder or fingertips. Feel free to tuck in the pillows or bolsters if you might like to soften this shape in any way. And again, within the next 2 to 3 breaths, offer your knees gently back towards center with just the slightest activation at low tummy and navel. You can stand onto the soles of your feet. Again, adjust your hips and back. Give your knees a hug in towards your heart, a little bit of movement on your low back. And then one last shape before we head down towards Savasana or right into sleep. If you have a headboard or an actual wall nearby, that's great. You can take your legs up the wall. I will give an alternative to this as well. So if that's an option or you like this kind of L shape right on the floor, then land into that. For some folks, this is actually not super relaxing for the hamstrings. They do want to give an alternative if you've got blocks and your bolster around, which is to stack the blocks nice and high, take your bolster atop, and we'll set up a different type of inversion, which is with your knees bent, resting on this kind of bolster and block bridge. Okay, so it's just a little like a bitty baby inversion. Right. So either here or legs up the wall, softening and settling. And then everyone, go ahead and slowly draw your knees back into your heart. So if you're in that bridge variation or your Viparita Karani, last chance for a little bit of movement on your low back. And then go ahead and ease yourself down either into a Shavasana, which I will guide you out of, or if you're heading right into Betty Bye, you can tuck yourself in your covers and go ahead and close the screen and settle in there. Otherwise, landing with me, take your legs out long, soften the upper thighs so that the big toe edge can broaden out and up. Rest your arms heavy alongside your ribs with your palms open upward to the sky. And then move through a scan of your whole system. In particular, notice the brow line, your jaw, soften the space between your teeth, your tongue, your throat. Move all the way down your system, just softening, softening, softening. And if you are settling in for sleep or perhaps for a quick little nap, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, offering really gentle movements and that brief pause for rest. Take a roll over onto your favorite side and a few breaths to journey upward toward a last seat where we can close the practice, this brief practice together. And as you land, I'd like to offer a gesture to seal this brief practice with hands down to the earth, just a little bit of a grounding mudra or gesture that offers us in a further encouragement to rest, to pause, to slow down. You can lower your head and take a breath for gratitude. Thank you so much for joining this brief practice to support you in preparation for sleep. I hope you all have a deep rest ahead for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you again very soon. Nighty night.